to start the intro.
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide. As outlined on the consenting website of Divine-gpms.world, it is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on November 3rd, 2025. We are on Open Public, Divine-gpms.world meeting worldwide. And we gather people as representative and guardians of GPMS all around the world. And also Rick George, the founder and High Priest of Melchizedek Order, with us on Earth today to help the humanity with ascension and also implementation of Do No Harm law worldwide. Thank you so much, Eric, to be here. I experienced a lot of symptoms from the sinus detox and everything that you posted. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
thank you for all of you being here at this time. And just by the way, we have more representatives and just not all join the weekly meetings.
Yes, please allow us to know what it is new for the ascension. The ascension is extremely important because many people want freedom, but they still do not know how to get there without doing harm. And the true definition of the sovereignty is still not understood enough. So please let us to know what is happening on the ascension, and from there we may start, because we need, especially the masculine, we know has a lot of problem with the ascension. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, sister. Yeah, well, with this overall ascension, it is, let's say, the final battle between the good and the evil, the separation of the wheat from the chaff. And it's also a consciousness battle, as everyone can attest to and identify with. So, having said this, there's the soul level and the consciousness level. And because of the consciousness in this time, it has been a tedious job to awaken the masses, but with that consistently and in integral portions, there is the divine intervention to this effect. Having said this, one of the great roles of Melchizedek, if you will, which is one of my identities, is to administer and to secure the laws of God. When you look at laws over time, and let's just look at Moses, if you will, and then let's look at Christ, in that little bit of history, you saw where Moses had put in a certain amount of laws, if you will, that the Pharisees adhered to and upheld. But there came the time with the more advanced Christ laws as well, and to simplify things. And also in this time, what we are doing divinely is bringing in the full divine law that Jesus had seeded, if you will. So this great time has been spoken about, and currently it's so important with 3i Atlas, if you will. When you look at its construction, it is an actual sword, it is a comet, it is directly all-inclusively associated with God, with the Christ consciousness, with this time that has been written about. And importantly, now it resides in Virgo. That's where the comet can be seen. And Virgo is the great woman in the sky that is mentioned in Revelations 12. And of course, this is the sword, the comet. It defies, let's say, the uniform acceptance of the appearance of the comet, where it has the forward projection on it, which defies, if you will, what is accepted and known by humanity as a typical comet. So this one has the forward projection, which is the handle, and of course the hand coverings on the side. So it's a distinctly the divine sword of justice that is coming in. So as you're seeing, these signs cannot be ignored. They're becoming more distinct, more prevalent, and they are securing this great time we are in. And of course, the sword is the sword of justice and law, which is also divine. Now, it's giving us a great good picture where it is currently in, let's say, the constellation of Virgo, and Virgo represents the mother and the child as well. So concurrently, also with GPMS and with Sister Nya and the children, but all of the children, we are currently in this time at setting the children free and, of course, protecting the children from the lower density reality. So, what is occurring is we are applying divine law to the old system to free the children and all of the mothers because they need to be acclimatized for the heaven on earth, what we are bringing in to keep it simple. So all of this, as you can see, when you put the pieces together, it is no refuting the times that we are in. With this, it's kind of sketchy, the details, what I've been divinely receiving. But currently, it's looking like we may go into a drop period ending up at November 29th. So right from now, worldwide, there can be some things that will occur that will push the rest of the masses into deep fear. And around December 1st or 2nd, when we come out of that, there will be a lot more that are awakened to the truth and their consciousness raised, that they're able to accept more of everything that we've been saying with this overall ascension, the signs of this time. And again, um, there's nothing stops the ascension, and also divine GPMS.world and the ascension and the laws of God and the heaven on earth, which has been promised and is being prepared now as we speak. So everything what is actually occurring with divine GPMS, for any theologist or anyone that has done some in-depth research into prophecy and, of course, the Bible, once you begin to weed out the manipulations out of things that was written and select and put together the true things, then the picture becomes clear. And at this time, I need to say that it becomes blatant to the degree if any skeptical one was to perhaps just take a day, no more than a week, to do their research, they would come to the full conclusion, yes, everything that I say and what we're saying is truth. So, meaning that it's that easy to see now. The signs have proliferated over the course of, more notably since the linear year of 2012. So we are in these times. There is, for what I give, there is an uncertainty to how many numbers make through this ascension and go through forward with the human physical vessels intact. But again, there is always this, which is true, that out of approximate 8 billion on Earth, there is only 6 billion souls, meaning that the souls go forward and the other 2 billion mixture, whatever they are, um, will not. And also with this, out of the 6 billion souls, it is still unclear how many will make the transition with their physical vessels. So over the course of time, all of these souls have been prepared with enough information. Take care of your physical vessels, your body, your diet. So everyone has been um, divinely educated. Their attention and their direction took them towards taking better care of their physical vessels. It was not by chance. Many had become vegetarians. This was not by chance. All of these things were in preparation to allow for the physical vessel to survive the transitioning. Many were not vaccinated, another important factor. Many did much detoxing of heavy metals and things that were contradictory to an advanced physical vessel. So all of these measures on an individual level were taken care of and at a soul level. So nothing was by chance with the preparations that the individual made. So, for example, they felt they needed to detox. It was not just a feeling, and it was not by random. It come from a deeper soul preparation level to be prepared for this time. Um, it's looking like, as I mentioned, between now and November 29th, I am anticipating a dip, a fear dip that is worldwide in the consciousness. Um, however, it's looking around December 1st or 3rd that we should have our reprieve out of that. So the instructions that I'm giving for all now is, of course, it's always been the same, have cash on hand. Um, it is important for that and to remain in a neutral, observant stage with your energy and also with your physical location as well. It may be a great time not to travel anywhere, stick close to home, stick into your observation a bubble, and each one of you, where you stay at, you do have an energetic divine portal. Everyone has this. You have a small one in your bedroom where you sleep, but there's also a larger one located on your property, and these serve higher divine purposes. And it's best to stay close to home, perhaps, with what I feel, what is coming, and with the details I'm given. So this is a heads up. I don't have a full confirmation on it because, again, the details, what I am receiving here on Earth, are sketchy. But nevertheless, all are prepared regardless if it occurs or if it doesn't. So it's just a heads up again. So yes, very significant with the events that again are transpiring. And one of the things with divine GPMS was the consciousness of the individuals at not knowing that it is right at their fingertips, not accepting it, not able to see it yet, and not able to recognize it in the past, but more and more every day, more are breaking through um, that veil of forgetfulness and recognizing it and connecting the dots that, yes, this is it. So it's been a lengthy process with that. And with all, again, we need to, at this time, just be and hold the space, if you will, and be there available for ones as they begin to awaken and they may contact you. So but I suggest any genuine one, don't push them aside. When they contact you, they're receptive, they're open for information, and give them that support and whatever truth that they're open to take. And again, this is happening worldwide because divinely the souls are all prepared, and divinely they need to be to get caught up to date, to be briefed, and to take their place in the next highest level of vibration, where we're currently going to establish the heaven on earth, if you will. So again, nothing is by chance. There is not the true full free will of the consciousness. It is the free will of the souls, meaning that on the subconscious level, the souls have already chose the heaven on earth scenario. And for those ones that did and are participating in it, there is no free will from the human consciousness, meaning that the human consciousness is overridden and that the ones become aligned with the heaven on earth. So it happens on the soul level, those going forward. And again, it is a process, and one reason that it's part of the that it is a process is because there are choices and experience that is involved, that one need to have the experience to make the right choices, to instill the gnosis, the knowledge, and the morality. So they need to see certain things and need to have certain experiences to make the higher and the right choices. So, for example, with the masses, you see a lot of that political lower consciousness thing playing out. That is nearing an end, if you will. When you look at the US, it's pretty plain now what has been going on with the false Nasara Jacera QFS concepts, white hats, that is all fading from existence, and you see the ones emerging into the higher levels of consciousness as they're recognizing that it was a false narrative, but it was also a trick upon them to keep them complacent. So they're now being forced to separate from that false narrative and to take a higher stand and a higher reasoning as their consciousness elevates into the more rationale and reasoning and the expansion of their consciousness at able to evaluate at a higher rate so that they understand and can see more. So this is all where we are at this great time. So as we see in the US, and I love using that as the example because the US is the last domino resistance by the darkness to fall. And with every passing day with the leader of the US, he is losing the support. So this is a very good sign, and it means that the people in the US have had enough of that political experience that now they are looking for the real truth and what does fix all. And of course, then they're in alignment with Divine GPMS, the divine plan. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rick. You explain that basically the number of the people that can have the physical vessel body intact, it's still not known. And also you indicated a lot as dates as this November 29 and December 1st and 2nd. Right now, because Canada, it's near the United States, as you mentioned, the United States too happen there. We have events that happens also in Canada. And I believe Sergey, I saw he was in Toronto. I was also in Edmonton yesterday. Sergey, are you with us? Yes, you just turned camera. What happened there, Sergey, in Toronto yesterday? The
Okay, hi
farmers
everyone.
movement.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I was at a meeting of the farmers protest in downtown. It was around 200 people, but more is coming, more is leaving. It was like a fluid process. Lots of people was on the streets, also with like a placards and flags, walking around and protesting on the big streets. So I gave them a speech, like a 3-4 minutes, explaining what is divine GPMS it is, how easy to get the new. Probably everybody accept my card, because if I didn't speak to them, probably they will not like have a still have a pressure or something else, like not take a card. But after the speech, probably everyone get a card. So around 200 cards I give around. And after also I speak with the people who ask the questions and just wanna have some conversation with me. So it took like a 2.5, 3 hours to be there. It was peaceful. Everybody was upset about the things what's going on in Canada, and they needed changes. And everybody had a choice who wanted to give the speech and to explain what's not good in their life and in all around them. And it was very good to be there and give the people the Divine-gpms.world. The only one choice we have. All others doesn't work, and it's taken years and years for them to recognize and see it. That all system not going to give them anything good. They're just going to put them under pressure more and more every time. And doesn't matter. The events happening, people is coming to protest, but don't have a solution. And they should recognize Divine GPMS solution. So it was like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. I have one question, if I may. Were there any that were open to hear more about GPMS? Were any receptive? Did any come to you to ask more questions, or did you just give the message and left, if you will, if I may ask? Thank you.
Yeah, some people ask more question, how it's gonna happen, how long to wait, and I only said it's like we need more votes. Only votes decide the situation. One of the gentlemen also just get my phone. He said he's gonna call me and probably like we're gonna speak more. It's like basically people wanna find out how is this gonna happen, how far or how fast, and uh, how long to wait, because everybody's tired waiting. Everybody wants some big action. I said just vote, and you'll see the changes. It's if you have like friends and family to tell it's gonna be faster. Yeah, but
Excellent.
leaders is there. They don't give me a big like attention. They just everybody has their own mind. Everybody has their own idea. But basically, all of the ideas was like to protest more, to read more truth. But reading more truth, we already know all the truth. We already know what has happened for like all of these dark things. What is happening? Everybody knows. It's like who awake, see it and understand it. It's like time to
Excellent.
make the decision. Yeah, time to make decision.
Yeah, excellent. So they gave you the opportunity to speak. I shared your video, so this was great. Sister Beatrice will give us her story later, but it's looking like they were more open in Ontario where you were at. They allowed you to have the mic, but also I understand that you had the GPMS cards to pass out. How many cards did you leave with others and around the protest, if you will, just approximately? I'm curious. Thank you.
Oh, I have probably more than 300 with me, but I gave around probably more than 200, close to 250, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
and
they give me
perfect. And they were,
yeah, they gave me a chance to speak because I don't know. They just asked who want to speak. I said why not? I was maybe third or fourth speaker. I just let them speak, and I see they speaking only about fighting and protesting and no any solution. I said okay, my time to speak about peace and solution. And look like they accept my message, and they was very like excited and interested to see how it's gonna happen. But we'll see how
wow,
it's gonna be.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See, when you take the podium and when you stand and you speak about peace and all of this peaceful solution, police or anything cannot stop anyone because you're not doing anything
Yeah.
that is harming anything. You're not fighting against the government. You are giving the new way. So this is the great revival, if you will, and it's so beautiful. And so you give out about 200 cards. So this means that you had a wide, receptive audience right there to be able to, let's say, pass out. So it's my understanding about 200 cards, but did you like give them personally to individuals that they wanted them, that they took the cards? Is that the correct understanding? Yeah, Brother Sergey, you might be in a little zone where he cut out. He'll come back later, perhaps.
Yeah, the internet is frozen.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Dave. How it was your day yesterday in BC? And what is new there about the protest, the farmer protest?
Well, the town that I live in is kind of small in the southern part of the Okanagan, so it's pretty quiet here. We don't get much activity or information based on that. There's only less than a couple thousand people in the whole valley, so it's a farmer's valley, lots of organic orchards and such. So I really don't know what happens with the protests. As Brother Rick has said before, protesting is a bit of a distraction. I go over that. I have another video prepared for today, and I go over those details. A lot of people will believe that protesting and rallies are good, and to a degree, they are showing the opposition of the people. But generally speaking, the response to be gained by these things are it's against a government or governing body that is not interested. And so, as far as changing things, yeah, it's there will be maybe surface changes showing, so that it can look good for the common people, but essentially nothing changes because they have their agenda and nothing stops it. And so again, that's the good news, is that the system is here to replace that. It's the only way to go, and replacing it is what we must do. And as I mentioned before, we need to move away from the old system. So in any case, it's hard for the average individual to figure all that out because they've been taught to stand up and fight and go against systems that are out there. And people have heard the term, "What we resist persists," and that's essentially it. So I don't have any news from this quiet little sleepy valley that I live in as far as that goes. I just keep putting out information from our retail outlet, and it is true that people do come. They come for information that we've never met before. So it's that is occurring here as they find their way to our retail gift shop. So that's all I have. Wish I had more, but that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit from Alberta farmer protest. The farmers, the food, it's extremely important. The air quality, the food, the water quality, and everything play a huge role for ascension. And the ascension is the most important. So the farmers are very, very important. Unfortunately, the consciousness is still not enough aligned with divine-gpms.world. In Alberta, something happened and GPMS was basically not allowed to be presented to the public for 5 minutes. It was the same leader that I knew 2 years ago, part of the convoy, the second Canadian convoy. We know that all convoys in Canada starts basically from Alberta. So here I had some discussion or some non-opportunity with some leaders because they are not aligned with divine-gpms.org. But I'd like to say very positive. It is that the group, the people that united there, probably around 100, so less than 30. So in Toronto, they are basically part leaders of groups, and they receive the GPMS cards for sure. And I saw also written, basically, God is the solution. So follow God. God is the solution. And this is true. And this is divine-gpms.org. So everything belongs to God. It's like we are God inside and also we found God outside. But this alignment with the true God, it's still not seen during the protest. And the protest was in Alberta was more aligned with conservative political. And basically the conservative political made the list for the speakers and by the end invoke that it was a reason that they need to hurry and go in convoy and do not allow GPMS to speak for 5-7 minutes or maximum up to 10 minutes. Yeah, so this invoking reason is not accepted by myself. I am part of movement as protesting and everything. Basically, I never protest. All the time I'm going there to inform the people since 2020 about the divine law. So nobody saw Beatrice on protest. Never, ever. And I would say that even right now, I was able to give the information to the leaders. I do not know the leaders' answer. They were also invited to participate on GPMS weekly meetings and start to be more aligned with GPMS. The main group's leaders, or those that they represent the leaders of the main groups in Alberta, were there, and they are all united. And also, it was a speech, not only one, a couple of speech for Alberta independence. And they said also that Quebec as province started already their independence and it's something playing on the court. They attack for sure the freedom and rights, the charter. Yes, the charter was not, it's not one that can uphold all the provinces united, but the charter itself, it's made with artificial law, common law, civil law, and basically the charter is not a point of reference. So even that right now they want to divide Alberta as country and other provinces as country, the division is not part of the light, it's part of the darkness. And this solution, unfortunately, it's not part of the light because infringe on universal law, people, freedom, and rights. A lot of them as comfort and abundance, complete comfort and abundance. The people cannot experience the comfort and the abundance needed with this way that the protest wants to move forward with independence of Alberta and everything that they want to do as way to achieve. And the goal would be, they are saying it is the same as GPMS, but unfortunately the freedom and rights are traveling, and also other freedom and rights are not recognized, and basically they will put the people to suffer and do not recognize their universal laws, freedom and rights. And this was the reason that basically after I was speaking with them and I give them cards, I did not participate on the convoy because to my level of consciousness, I cannot participate on something that is coming against the people. Yes, Rick.
Thank you, sister. Yes, for that update on your important experience in Alberta. So we're seeing, let's say, a difference between Ontario and Alberta. And with Alberta, they're still in the fighting mode in the consciousness and with the political structure yet. So they're still going through this process with their experience. But also, when we look at the collective energy and consciousness in Alberta, typically in the past, Alberta was always within the politics, was a very rich province. And these are imprints from the old capitalistic way of thinking. It's associated with separation and greed, if you will. And it's not to diminish them, it's to state the energetic blocks and hindrances in the conscious thinking. And this is why they need to go through these processes yet at understanding that politics and capitalism and separation is not the way. I'm very happy when I saw, when we heard Brother Sergey's experience in Ontario, because this is the breakthrough, what we're seeing. So it is happening in Canada, at least Ontario. And I would say we're not seeing much from Quebec, but that Quebec also is, I would say, more of an advanced consciousness position with alignment, because really they have been throughout the history of Canada, most part, they have been segregated and have attempted in the past, if you will, to separate from Canada and these sort of things. So they have much more of the experience, perhaps, intact of let's say comparing versus Quebec separating and comparing it against the benefits of staying together, as one united country. But nevertheless, again, yes, let me just say, not unfortunately, but Alberta has to go through this process again, and all of those to understand that it's not the way. The politics, the capitalism, again, that it doesn't serve. It just keeps them looping in the same old fight, if you will, that's been there for decades, if not centuries. And so when they come to this realization, and they are very quickly, there are ones in Alberta that I know that are of the higher consciousness already, and are taking the steps forward to more of that realization. But again, what we see is the problem yet where you wanted to stand up to speak, Sister Beatrice. No, they would not allow you yet because it's still part of the control to keep the old narrative in place. It's happening divinely again because it's part of the process. They've got to see how they keep hitting the roadblocks and keep going back in the same old looping scenario of convoy after convoy without getting any results because it is not the solution. And, you know, with Einstein, if you will, but actually it wasn't his, he borrowed it from another, a feminine, if you will. You know, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result. So, you know, it's part of their process. After they keep doing the same thing, then they wake up and they realize they're just banging their head against the brick walls. But it's necessary that they have this experience. You know, ideally, if one sees a block, they don't do that same thing again, ideally. But that is not the case, what we're seeing with so many on their awakening journey. You know, after they hit the block so many times, and for some, it takes more for them to hit the blocks before they realize the nonsense of doing the same old things over and over. And then they're open to see the solution. So they're not fully through their problems yet, these leaders, if you will. And, you know, when we look at also, let's say, the leaders and the followers, um, what you will see is that the followers themselves come to their own self-determination and realization, you know, that the protesting is not the way, that you need something entirely new. And when you look at any constitution or charter of rights, if you will, it all looks nice. But what each country does with the Constitution, then they take it down into law where they begin to turn your rights into permissions that they control. So this is part of one's beginning to understanding that the constitutions are only a guise. It's a misleading statement, which is actually fraudulent to any country's people, thinking that they have the rights, but once they are subjugated to the laws, they find out that they have no rights. And this is part of the process that they're beginning to learn as well. And how this differentiates between what was in the old with each country's constitution. And let's take the universal nation of GPMS with the full constitution of all of the intrinsic rights upheld, and respected worldwide by everyone. This is also the lawful solution. All rights, all law is foundationed upon the human rights. But again, what the darkness did, they'll throw out a constitution, tricking ones into thinking they got rights, then through their man-made laws and all of the ridiculous complex stipulations, they rob each one's. But that is what is all imploding. And again, GPMS is the divine solution, meaning it's also ascertained, it's guaranteed, and it's inevitable. And it just depends upon the people at making the right and higher choices as soon as possible to end all of the insanity and the suffering worldwide. So there is a great onus and moral obligation upon each that refuses GPMS, if you will. But again, they have to go through their process of realization and their consciousness awakening process. So again, you're looking, and you said it so beautifully, Sister Beatrice, that when these ones, when they're still caught up in the politics, and the fight. You can't be a part of that. It rejects you because it's not in alignment with the real truth in the free world. So you'll be repelled away from it, not allowed to speak and everything, because it's not what you are. You've been through that, you know it, but they just didn't get through it enough yet to know it, to be able to exit it. But every day, more and more are exiting. And I'll go back to what Brother Sergey said in Ontario. We saw these things in Ontario before where it was typical, something like what you're experiencing in Alberta, but Sergey's experience and story here today shows no, they're all awakening out of it very quickly, and they were all receptive to the new way and the solution. So yeah, it's it to watch it, you know, it's painstakingly by us, if you will, you know, sitting and waiting at times, but it's a realization that they need to go through the experience so that they're able to make the higher and right choices later. And when you look at one leader that may be still fighting, and let's say you have 100 that's following that leader, well, these 100 has their own minds and they're also awakening. So it doesn't matter if you see one out giving the fire and brimstone political fight, it doesn't matter because that one loses support. It's the same as Trump, if you will. You see what's occurring in the US. He had a huge support and following. Now it's getting very, very small. And you even see, I think Trump the other day wanting to hang some of the, you know, putting out these comments to hang some of the Congress. This is aggression, but it's also showing the true colors of what is represented by Trump. And Trump is representing the capitalistic, man-made, war aggressive system. And this is not part of the new, as we know, but people needs to see it. And that's why this all had to play out in the US with Trump, so that the people see it's not the way, not politics and not capitalism. So Trump is playing at least that role to show the people what Trump is representing is not the way, it's not where we're going. But they need to see the opposite of where we're going so they can make the choices more easier. And what's so beautiful, we're right at that at this time, that Trump has little support because the people have seen enough. And we're also leading up to this a few months ago when I mentioned we saw the increase with ones from the United States joining Divine-gpms. So that was an indicator that we had the breakthrough in consciousness in the US about a few months ago. So now, as everything proliferates in support of this, we're seeing more and more from the US come in because they have awakened above the false narratives and all of the aggression. So again, it is the process with it. And again, you know, ideally, we don't wish to go through this because we're all ready. But the thing is, it's not about just us, it's about all of humanity. So we need to wait, we need to have the patience, we need to be there for them, we need to nurture things along. Thank you.
So just I would like to share the decree of GPMS. It is very important. The decree of GPMS includes all the people, not only a few that they name themselves as leaders. This is very important. RCMP and other police, it's included. They have rights and freedoms as all others. This is one of the reasons that we cannot be involved in fight. We have to respect everyone. Only when somebody is doing harm, we are allowed to speak about the harm done and maybe take some action, but not before. We cannot suppose nothing. And if one individual from the RCMP did an error, we cannot assume when we see another one in our face, part of the RCMP that will be doing the same. So the decree of GPMS is here. Why I share that? It is because Alberta spoke about independence and spoke about writing constitution. The decree of GPMS is based on universal laws, do no harm. And it is about the people, not few people, that they are keeping the protest. It's about the people, as 40 million in Canada, Azaria, power to shift and create, and this cannot be included, or 5 million that Alberta has, this cannot be included in a political party as conservative. And it is about the self-determination that does not allow politics or others above. It is about the right of complete comfort and abundance that cannot be experienced if Alberta become independent and put more borders, because the borders mean control and very bad experience for the family and everything. It is about the right of equality and equal justice. So that it's not experience if only few are keeping protest. It is about the right to liberty, that nobody can experience any kind of liberty when more borders are bring up. It is about the freedom to love and harmony. You cannot live in harmony when you make first borders, because basically you divide before uniting. So they are saying we will unite after, but you divide first. The division is coming from darkness. So there is no place of love and harmony. The freedom of speech was not experienced by GPMS during the protest in Alberta. The freedom of unity, they are keeping fight with the police, their CMP. So there it's no unity respected. It is about the fact that Alberta has also tribes on south, especially that they are keeping all the time the people to believe the land is native Indian, and they are asking money and money, and after that, for sure, they have money also for the protest, and keeping all this harmony in place, and they are part of Alberta independence. Freedom of belief. God was shown only by few follow God, but not by all leaders. If the leaders start to know the true God, they will be never involved in protest, and they will be never involved in something less than GPMS. Freedom of movement and travel upon Earth, space, and time cannot be respected when we divide, when we put more border on the land. Freedom of experience, we cannot experience, we cannot make experience, the true experience on another land, and to join the people on high dimension, because we'll be stuck on the conservative movement, that it is political, and we have to show documents in order to move in or out from Alberta. Freedom of expression. The expression will be not there because you cannot be happy in harmony and in love. So you cannot express that because the right to liberty is not respected. So I'm fortunate even that my full understanding, it's the one keeping up what it is important as food to be clean up and everything, and air quality and water and everything. After I realized during the time I was there that so many freedom and rights will be not respected, freedom and rights to the highest law do no harm, and also to the highest law as we are equal, and basically the true definition of the sovereignty is not respected. I was not able to participate on the convoy. This was the reason. And I removed myself from the place immediately after. So as I see right now, Ontario expressed something else. So Ontario is more adapted at this time. This is great. The leaders that they were at the time in Ontario, part of them, they are not part of the Ontario movement. They are part of the BC movement at this time. We hope that with the evolution of the consciousness and all the Rick George's action for the ascension, and also the Council of the Light, GPMS, and also other ships and everything that they are involved for the ascension, the leaders' consciousness will come in the place that they will be able to see GPMS and participate on GPMS where there is no need for protest and fight. So we hope this will happen. So Lodi, what it is your experience in Philippines and what happened during this week?
Thank you for this opportunity. Um, Today, we held a meeting for the fifth group here in Palawan, and I am very happy to share that we have connected to several new leaders, and they are willing and eager to collect names from their community for GPMS. One specific person, he said that he had work experience with the government agency we call Security and Exchange Commission here in the Philippines. And when he heard that GPMS is not registered under any government agency in any country, he was glad because to his knowledge, if such organization is not registered, it is not for gain or profit. So somehow, uh, with his experience of gathering names for a certain organization, which I just heard now, o- with so many different organizations that have been gathering names for uh, financial assistance for Filipinos, he had an experience with another one. And when he heard about the divine plan of GPMS, he is happy and he will surely collect names. And in fact, he asked me for a registration form because we have flyers and leaflets with the GPMS summary of the details on the website in Tagalog. So with that, brother, I'm expecting to receive more names from him. And also, his son is a retired teacher. And for 10 years, his work involves the students. So when he heard that he can uh, ask or he can enlist names even in those remote areas and even those on other countries, the Filipino overseas workers. He was also interested and he is eager to help us collecting names for GPMS. And also today I have received a few lists and bef- my last day here in Palawan is on Wednesday. So I'm expecting to receive more lists and those who have connected with me today through Messenger, they pledged that they will send me the pictures of those lists, even if I am already back in Manila. Um, right now, I don't have my laptop with me, so I am not able to register some names. But hopefully, when I get back next week, there will be more entries from the Philippines and from Palawan. That's all I can share for tonight. Thank you.
Wow, it is amazing, Lodi. Move forward with those aligned with GPMS. It is just amazing, and I'm so happy that this happened. Yes, Rick.
Yes, on what Sister Lodi began there, which is very important. Again, all need to realize that GPMS is not a government organization in any shape or form. The GPMS is the universal nation of the collective people all coming together. And when you look at, and this was a great point that you brought up, GPMS is not registered with any governments because it's not governmental. Again, and there is no profit with this. With GPMS, the only money, if you will, that was involved was just raising a few $100 a few years ago to just keep the website up, and about $1,000 was raised, I think, 4 years ago for a computer to keep all of the data on. So, over the course of 4 years or 5 years, GPMS only uh, asked the people, if you will, I would say less than $2,000 or no more than that. So, yeah, and this when GPMS needed some money to pay for the website, if you will, the not the website itself. All these things was mostly done voluntarily, but it was for the to pay for the place to keep the website up, each yearly fee. Even though with the website providers, we have, mentioned it and asked them to do it from their heart, to do it free. No, they would not. But getting back to the NGOs, one thing that GPMS did, which was very important, we had Sister Mariana Oprison a couple years ago. She sent out a flurry of emails to about 3,000 NGOs worldwide that were responsible for saving, protecting the children, ending poverty, and what have you, to get them to quickly be part of GPMS. To put it simply, I think she only received two replies out of 3,000. And uh, one of the most amazing replies she received from one NGO, they said, we can't support this GPMS because we would lose our government funding, our money. which was absolutely absurd. Here you have an organization that is misleading the public, saying that they're doing everything they can to protect the people and end poverty. And right in their lap, we give them the full common sense, logical solution, and they say they can't because they got to listen to the governments and they'd lose their government funding, which is absolutely preposterous. But it exposed and it revealed also another layer where they call themselves NGOs. No, they're not. They're arms of the governments. So the non-government organizations are actually funded by the government. So this is another huge fraud and misleading statement that is put out there worldwide that keeps the problem intact, as we know. So it's the opposite of what GPMS is. And again, we are a collective, a universal nation, if you will, that is with all of the higher laws of God, the moral laws. And just quickly, just jumping back, to Alberta, if you will, trying to separate. Again, they don't realize that it cannot be done that way, that they would keep getting smaller and smaller because the real problem is the artificial laws in the capitalistic system. And that has to be changed worldwide, as well as any little sovereign group going into the woods, if you will, to survive, sooner or later, they would be encroached upon and their whole vision dismantled because the forces, if you will, the dark forces that were out there at controlling reality would eventually encroach upon them. And when we look at encroachment, I don't know how true this is, but one of the stories that I saw, I didn't look into detail in it. That's why I don't know how true it is, but I do believe it is about China coming in to protect their investments, I believe, in British Columbia with helicopters and Chinese troops. And again, you look at the ridiculousness of this, and but the reason I bring it up is that worldwide, no, it has to be the universal people all together as one, with one equal currency and the equal upholding of divine law, true law, and the individual rights. And that is what GPMS is. But you see all of these threatening things to one's what sovereignty truly is. And Sister Beaters touched on this. Ones don't know, most of the world, what true autonomy, sovereignty is. They have the disappropriated, disproportionate views and understanding. And of course, it's been convoluted. It's been manipulated the real definition of sovereignty. It's been taken over, if you will, by the darkness and distorted into a sovereign wealth that they control. So it's without getting deeper in, Brother Dave, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wish to extend your message there, Brother Rick, because the emergence, let's say, of the sovereign understanding of humanity is somewhat taken up by the organizations and individuals. There's the Sovereign's Way, and there's been several others. I don't even remember them anymore because I've kind of departed from that as well. But there's organizations that are putting together formats and things like a notice of liability is one of their tools. And so again, we're kind of we're in the emergence of a new reality. And so these organizations, just like the protests and stuff, are doing their share. They're doing good, but essentially, if they would all just look at GPMS, it's all wrapped up by one simple concept. We're installing universe law, which is do no harm. And so all the movements, the sovereignty, claim your sovereignty movements, while they are progressing the consciousness of the collective, they are still somewhat spinning their wheels. I can attest to that because I went to Supreme Court in British Columbia over a fictitious second property transfer tax thing. And so I can tell you just how far notices of liability and negotiating with the court system gets. It's that's all I needed to learn is to go through that BC Supreme Court procedure and find out who's telling the truth and who's not. And so that's my essential point, is that the sovereignty of the individual doesn't tie itself to any organization or any procedure or any method. It's claimed from within the individual as the awake people stand up and unite with everybody else and move forward. So I just wanted to put that in perspective because, like I said, the sovereignty movements are good. They got their notices of liability. There's the Empower movement. He's gone through a lot of misery in his life trying to fight the system, and so they're all doing their little bits. But as you mentioned, Brother Rick, it's a process that they all have to come against a wall, and then they will be able to see the truth. And the last word I wish to say, it's in my video this afternoon, is that the truth is very, very, very simple. It's falsehood that has 100,000 stories to support it. And so once people can understand that and break through the perception of the false world, the old world, then things go much smoother for them. So thanks for that. And we just need to maintain the perspective and realize, most importantly, that those who are following the divine will are protected at this time and will be as we complete this process to instigate the new earth. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Brother Dave. I wish to say and emphasize the importance of these lawful instruments, such as notice of liability, cease and desist orders. But also with this, and we are using some of these with the universal nation and jurisdiction of Divine-gpms.world. Now, with these lawful instruments, everyone needs to know that they need to be publicly supported. And this is what, Dave is saying, on an individual basis with no great public support and awareness of them, they don't do much. So, what you have seen in the advancement of the sovereign groups, you have to put these notices of liability and cease and desist orders, you have to put them out into the public. They need to be fully substantiated in law and truth and also in evidence. And this is part of what we do. We keep it so blatant, if you will, when explaining it and putting it in layman's terms, that it's unmistakable what these notices are actually saying. Yes, at times they'll be a little bit more complex because we have to put them towards the complex, unlawful system in their language to let them know that we know and that there's no pulling the wool over the eyes, if you will. So when we're doing them, if you will, We serve the public notices. We put it out public and we also give it to them, but also at times we will make a public notice layman's version or explanation to keep it simple to the public so that it cannot be ignored or pushed away by the unlawful ones that are acting, yes, in the unlawful capacity. Uh, and with Austria as an example, what we're currently doing, I need to say that their entire judicial system is deadlocked, if you will, because of everything that we have done so far and what we continue to do. So we are making great movements forward with this. So I'll stop there. I think it's froze up for me, so I don't know if you can still hear me or not. But thank you, Dave.
Yes, we hear you very well. So basically, everything it's linked with the cells, the regeneration, ascension from the carbon state to the crystalline one. When you have a more crystalline structure in your blood, in your system, in your vessel, you cannot be aligned with proposal that touch the people freedom and rights, as already happened in Alberta. And more I was there and listening, I realized that this is not about the true freedom, it's more about the conservative versus the federal, the liberal. Both are political structure, very old in Canada, or coming with a new political that may give more people the right to speak, but those that they still respect the politics. So outside of politics, nothing. It was also the freedom movement in Alberta. The protest of the farmers was based also on this phone number that they wanted for everyone to reach this phone number and say action. So basically, they collect the people phone number. And the leader from there said, "Okay, give me your phone number, then I will put you on the list to speak." And I said, "Okay, Bertina, I am Beatrice Dumitrașcu from Divine-gpms.world. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I hope that I'll have the opportunity. Do no harm law implementation." So it was not about to answer to the conservative action. I told her about that, and I had no the right to speak. So when it's coming to the politics, it is basically not coming on the good direction. And if the people from Alberta still believe that putting down the liberals and something like that, and they come against Ontario, because in Ontario there are so many immigrants. This story are so old and nothing happened. And if they still believe that the solution are the conservative that will make more space for the freedom movement as protest to be heard by the public, this is the solution, or the solution is to create another political structure with their constitution for the independence of Alberta. I am telling them by the end of 2025, and I told for a couple of years, I was more awake than others. The oil and gas company have no future. We need to implement the free energy. We need to start the hemp. There are minimum 25,000 products, could be. So the financial system is here in GPMS, and the money can be released in 24 hours. The money are unlimited. We know the fraud that it's happening inside of the system, where only the 1% were protected as for the unlimited money, but all other people are in debt. So it is really not the case to choose this inferior solution. And even that you'd like to do good, I do understand that, and this is extraordinary to do better from the worst ever seen as darkness system, yes, you can do. But to do really good, do not touch the people, freedom, and rights, and to respect the universal laws, you need to have the God inside of you. And to have it, you need to have a soul and to be awake and to have a crystalline body to understand the level of divine-gpms.world and universal laws. If you are not to that level, you are not able to do good. I'm extremely sorry to say that. And this is the reason that even that you would like to make the hemp products to be seen on the market and everything, choosing other ways, like political structure and everything, you touch on the freedom and rights of the people, and you believe that you are allowed to do that. And you are making also protests to happen in Canada. So I do understand that to the earth level, it is a fear right now in place on November 29, December 1st, 2nd. We'll see what will happen after that. But basically, I do not know other freedom movement. For example, in Ontario probably is different, but in Canada, in Alberta, it is based still on fight. And where the fight exists, it is low consciousness, and I do not know. We hope that maybe some ceremonies may dissolve. It is based on Rick to send us good ceremonies in place and the opportunity to dissolve all this darkness, political structure, believers on new artificial constitution with the artificial common law and clean up the common law and fighting with the police. We hope this negativity over Alberta will dissolve soon. And probably in December, we may see more unity and approach, and probably the leaders may have, in general, more crystalline structure on their blood. And based on that, they may start to see divine-gpms.world. Thank you so much.
Yes, everything forward, Sister Beatrice. Any update from Brazil, Brother Everson, or anything from Germany, Sister Agnes? Do you have anything to add? And of course, anything from India, if you can speak English, perhaps.
Well, if I, I wish to say I can see two realities here. There are the reality of the comet, 3A Atlas, and there are the ones as you saying that it's not a comet, it's a message. And there are people that seeing, I think most of the population are seeing government institutions falling down. They're very, I think most of the people are seeing here the government and the organizations are falling, crumble. But I can see these two realities. You can see people acting or in a way superficial, and they're realizing that there is something else happening deeper. So I can see this. There are two ways to look things, and I think there is happening many things are happening simultaneously. Yes, thank you.
I would like just to add that GPMS is ordo a referendum. This might happen anytime, night and day, everywhere in the world, in every location. So basically during the time that I'm sleeping in Alberta, this may start to happen in another corner of the world. This is extremely amazing with GPMS. We do not need something that it is related on the artificial law, like a specific period of time or something like to gather consent. So this may happen anytime when the people become awake. This is extremely important for the Ascension mission to continue. And basically, we hope that all the leaders involved now in other kind of solution, or they believe that through their way they may come to the same results or something like, they will start to see universal laws, and they will find that divine-gpms.world, it's keeping the correct way, the correct path, and they will come with GPMS. Then basically we can become as one, because the law of do no harm is basically behind the law of one. We are one, and we need to unite, not to fight, and to help all other people that they cannot really see right now the true path, to come on the right path. Yes, Sarhi.
Yeah, I would like to add to what the brother Emerson said, and all the other speakers like Rick and Dave. It's like, yes, government scary and falling down, because yesterday on a meeting in Toronto, I also heard it from the people. So take a look on Finland. Finland already like proposed to the citizens like 200,000 euro per year for every citizen. I'm saying, hey guys, do you believe them? It's like all governments. It's hard to believe them. They just lied about vaccination and all that stuff, and you believe they're gonna give it to you? Even if they're gonna give it to you, they wanna ask something like in return to be taking shots every 3 or 4 months or something like that. It's, yeah, but they offering whatever you want. We're gonna give it to you. Just trust to us. Yeah, they falling down and just scary and promising like anything what they like people ask. It's, and also like I saw in internet somewhere, Finland like showing the people they have already technology like Wi-Fi electricity. So electricity will not be on any cables, but will be transferred through the air. Yeah, it's all technology by Tesla, but they are giving away everything, money, technology, just to stay with us. No, people, don't trust them. Just divine law has to be implemented. Divine-gpms.world has to be done. It's only then we can be united and just have whatever we need to. Thank you.
Yes, but when we are speaking about the government, and you may confirm that, basically we are speaking about institution under created with the artificial law. We are not speaking about the soul. So the people that they have soul, even that they are working for the government, they can come anytime with divine-gpms.org to create the new, even during the time that they are still working for the government to have money to pay their bills and everything. So this has to be clear. So we do not discriminate. It's all based on the soul. So please come and unite. We are not fighting. So the government, it's only the institution that tomorrow nobody will follow the artificial law and will be implementing the divine do no harm law. So this is GPMS, and could be also seen as an economic reform, if you wish, because when we experience all these rights and freedoms, we will be extremely concentrated to do good, exactly what God is. It's the good that everything, it is basically the intelligence of everything that it is good. So we'll be very creative to create the new earth and do good. It could be also seen like that. So we expect people from every corner of the world. It does not matter the institution where they are working right now, to come with GPMS. So when we are speaking about the government, this is just an artificial institution. The artificial institution could be changed, but the people remain and they will ascend. This is very important. Yes, Rick.
I was just going to add that free energy, free electric, was here in 1899. Tesla successfully in 1899 in Colorado by creating the electromagnetic resonance with standing waves. He was able to light up lights. It says perhaps 200 meters away without any electrical lines, but it was actually, he did it two miles or 2 kilometers away. So, this technology over a century ago for free electric was here. But then it gets more deeper in this. So he was using electromagnetic pulse connecting the etheric with the electromagnetic field of Earth itself, and it worked beautifully. And this is one thing that he was working on. But what occurred is that at that time, the resonance of Earth, um, the hertz, if you will, was around the 8 hertz. And his part of his divine instructions was to increase the resonance, because when the increase in resonance occurred, also the consciousness of humanity would uplift, because it has to follow the frequencies and the hertz, if you will, to keep it simple for everyone. But what occurred is that the darkness, again, back then, they come in, and the around the earth right now there is 183, I think, known cyclotrons of those proportions. Also particle accelerators is included in this, as well as CERN. So what the darkness did all around the Earth was, there is actually, I think, around 251 of these installations worldwide with these cyclotrons, or actually electromagnetic pulsators, to keep the resonance of Earth around the 8 hertz to prevent the awakening. But what occurred in 2012, 2015, if you will, the divine intervention began diminishing the effects of these electromagnetic resonators, pulsating resonators, to allow for the awakening as well. But just to recap, the free energy, yes, is here. It's been here since 1899. And just to keep this simple, what I will add, and any that follows the Schumann resonance, if you will, you can see all of the spikes, because this is the hertz that is raising uh, in um, in complete conjunction with the human consciousness as well, because this is the ascension. So the overall vibration and hertz of Earth is Gaia is increasing. Without I going too far into detail and making it technically complex, which really it isn't. It's electromagnetics, it's physics, it's resonance, it's hertz, it's frequency, it's how all of creation exists. But the only reason I just wanted to share this is that there was the dark intentional cyclotrons that were created to suppress humanity and keep them in a indoctrinated, controlled, conditioned state. But so this was the also some of the alien technology that was used nefariously against humanity. So not only, as I say, with GPMS, all electricity is free, as well as all health care, phones, everything. Um, yeah, uh, also the free energy is here as well, and it has been since 1899 in more than one way. Very quickly, what I wish to say, because Sister Beatrice brought it up, anyone listening, you know, your current job's what you have. Yes, you need those to at least survive in this temporary time. And whatever jobs you have, do it. Make sure it's an honest job, and always keep your integrity intact. But you know, there's a lot of fear that's around the birth certificates, and you know they speak about strawman accounts and all of this, but even though those things are true, what you need to realize is that your birth certificate is your shareholder certificate of all of the assets of the world. So it means you are the owner of the system. You are a shareholder of the system. And this is very important because divine GPMS, what this does is the people taking the lawful and rightful ownership of the existing system and then turning it into the lawful equal system with all of the existing public architecture and infrastructure worldwide, because it actually belongs to the people. So your certificate is your shareholder certificate of everything that was ever built, every penny that was ever made. But now with GPMS, even more, because once the majority of the world agrees with divine GPMS, then it's money unlimited for everyone, if you will. And this is how everyone is placed into immediate comfort and abundance. So you have your shareholder certificate, and we're just, again, we use that analogy is that the world is having a shareholder vote, and the majority will vote for divine GPMS. It's the most common sense, logical thing to do. So this is a lawful, technical vote to change how things were. And it's all being done lawfully. It's with your right of self-determination, and also realizing and seeing through the illusion how your value was robbed by a few, that ones were tricked, thinking that gold or money made by a few was the value. No, you are the source of value, and you are unlimited potential and value. And what GPMS is doing is lawfully taking all of that and putting it where it should be. It never was. The value never was with the people the moment that money came into circulation several millennium ago, if you will. So this is unprecedented. It's now doing what is right, what is equal, and what is just, and what is absolute law. So again, GPMS cannot be opposed, it cannot be compressed, it cannot be suppressed, or any of these things for what it is. It cannot be contested. It is absolute law. And with that, in Austria, we may have some great good things coming this week, but maybe it may not be until in the first weeks of December, but we'll see. Austria is in a very, as I said before, is really tied up, but it's being a great example how it's also showing the world the injustices by what is supposed to be an advanced democratic country in the least, but it is not. But also, it's connected in to the great. No, I'm told by Father not to say any more right at this time what I was about to say. But good things are coming, and yes, nothing can be hidden in these great times. Everything is being exposed, but it's a process with it, and there is the linear time with it. So, yeah, great. I think, Sister Agnes, do you have anything from Germany, if I may ask, to add?
At first, thank you very much for the last interview with Sister Cici and Sister Nya. Wonderful. It was very powerful that they came forward, and yeah, the truth is spreading, and thank you very much for this and of both of them. For me, for now, for Berlin, I would say it's for me just I feel like what I've heard before, it's that the news on the mainstream media is just like so crazy, I would say. And for me, it's a sign that it's falling apart, all of this. And I still have the feeling that it's the energies are getting higher and more powerful, because that's what I see outside as yeah, it's unbelievable what you read. It doesn't make sense. And yeah, and it's getting colder and darker, and it's just a science to go within and to use this great time and spread love and light. So, and I also want to thank you for Beatrice and Sergi for sending this also powerful videos, because it's growing, and Divine GPMS is coming, is here. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we are already in GPMS like 1,333. So is that 333 right now, the number there for Canada? Yeah. So we have a divine number there. We hope that the people may unite for Canada, and we may start to see also GPMS events. GPMS events means only to give the information about the website and to gather consents, nothing else. We are not coming against the government because it is an artificial structure that anyway will go down. So we do not put effort on something that anyway is going down. We put effort on something to bring the people up, and basically to put the people on the power of decision, and to have the money to develop the project and everything that it is necessary for the planet and for humanity. It is extremely beautiful. GPMS cannot enter in conflict and in fight with nobody. It is also guaranteed for Earth, and Eric is here to guarantee GPMS for the planet. It's just the time when GPMS happens, and not if GPMS happens. So GPMS anyway will happen, it is good to start to read the website because this is coming, and all other supposed solution will not happen, or even that partially will happen will not last. And I'm saying that before I knew GPMS, I said that this is the true solution. Do not harm the pure, do not harm low implementation for Earth. And after GPMS appeared, it was just a confirmation. So thank you so much, Eric, to be here with us on Earth. And I really hope that the team and you will remain on Earth minimum for a while after GPMS is implemented.
But sister, it's all of us again. It's not just it's all of us. All of us have been placed here for this very important time, as we say. So it's all of us together. I'm just one of many of you. It's all of us. But with that, yeah, if I believe we can end this for today, so I will shut down on Facebook, and if I believe that's everything. Does anyone have anything else to say? Yes, we have one hand up. Lodi, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I would just like to share that Sister Aurora, she was in the room earlier and she had messaged me that her employer is back in their house, so she has to left the meeting. But the good news is it's her very first time to hear about GPMS, and she is in Kuwait right now. And she's interested to help. She's asking how can she help us. And when I told her that it was uh it was my dream and hope that an OFW will be connected with us. And I think it's finally her because she told me that she has friends in China and Singapore and they have a group chat, and she is going to share GPMS in that group chat, and she will add me in their group chat so I can explain to them about GPS. I'm so elated. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Really. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sister. That's such excellent news, and no greater way than to close this meeting today, I believe. So, yeah, that is excellent. So we see some expansion in China, perhaps, and that is significant. And India also, we got to give an energetic push there to get more in India to step up. So this is great. Great, excellent. So what I'll do is then, if everyone agrees, we'll stop this for today. And love and light and gratitude to all that joined us and that will watch this in the future. And have an amazing day, everyone.